Us. So what's going on, man? Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, man.
Nah, I appreciate you, bro. Your time is really valuable, and like your wisdom and your just like every time I talk to you, there's always like gems or just like new insights and shit.
I don't know, man. I bullshit my way through life, and hopefully I catch something that's
On a
proper.
higher frequency, you bullshit your way through life, eh? But nah, man, it's good to see you again. It's good to talk to you again, man. Like I
Yo,
miss.
man, to chop it up with you. So, we go way back.
I know, I know. I should like hit you up more often, bro. I'm like, there's so many people. There's so many people that like just making those connections day in, day out. I gotta harness that a lot more because I know
Me
so
too.
many. I know so many people. Like everything's in my phone already, in my contacts.
Yeah, that itself is a grind.
Right?
It's
Uh,
crazy.
maybe we'll talk some more about that. But like, how you been? How's things been? What have you
Uh,
been doing lately?
I
Cooking up?
mean, I've just been doing physiotherapy. I got hit. I don't know if you remember. I got hit by a truck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, it's been doing physiotherapy. That's pretty much been my life, man. Is just doing physio and
How
chilling.
often do you go?
I go twice a week.
Damn.
And now it's like crazy because I got cleared to have them go like all in, so like no limits on like what they can do. So like they're doing like crazy acupuncture stuff. So like they're digging into like knots like all in my shoulder and stuff like that. And it's
Wow.
nothing but pain. It's nothing but pain right now.
I was gonna say, like, are you still in pain from the accident?
Yeah, it's touch and go with that, but
Yeah.
like when I do physio, that's like the worst because like my
Right.
movement is blocked because of like how it healed.
Right.
So they're trying to get all the knots out and stuff like that. So like they're like digging in and like
Oh my
it,
goodness.
it's like they're trying to reach into my soul and punch it. That's basically how it's intense, man.
Hopefully, it's like when you get over this, it'll be like best you've ever felt kind of thing.
I'm hoping, man. I'm gonna go through all that pain for nothing.
Facts, facts. So like, I know you got a new laptop. I know you
Yep.
just came in. What was the situation with the hard drive? You got that all sorted out?
Oh man. I guess so to make a long story short, is this part of the podcast thing or is
It
this
doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be at all. We're
okay?
just chatting.
It's all good either way, but yeah, long story short, if it is, I ordered a hard drive off a New Egg. Um, they sent it to me, completely destroyed. Had to send it back. Waited forever to get the refund. I had to contact them a couple times and they would go, "Oh right, okay, we'll send the refund." That happened like 2 or 3 times. Finally got the money, got the hard drive again, and then same thing, package destroyed, and I'm like, so I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna try to see if it just works.
Right,
Because the actual hard drive looked all right, and my concern was what happens if it craps out in
right,
like 2 days.
right.
But I installed it. It's running fine. It took me about 3 days to install everything.
Damn.
So now I'm good to go, and yeah, it's just finding a good time to do that like 100 beats in like 1 or 2 days thing.
Right, 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 right. Damn.
And I'm gonna document it too. I don't know how yet, but yeah,
You're still cooking up kind of like regularly?
kind of yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm trying to do like more piano practice and stuff like that to get back into the habit of doing that because it's been a while since I've like made beats and
Right.
got worse. So yeah, it's just here and there.
Yeah.
There's only so much I can do because like I don't like pencil in a lot, and even like just sitting like I have like a low tolerance for a lot of stuff. So because of the accidents, so yeah, it's just slowly getting back into that grind again.
Right, right, right. Nah, you'll get through it. You'll get there. It's
Yeah,
just a matter of time, you know.
yeah, slow and steady, but I'll get there.
Good, good. So, are you using any like online apps for piano, or are you just kind of doing stuff off YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube,
Yeah,
all stuff. I just try to find songs I like, and then I learn how to play them, and then see one key thing of learning like how to do music, because like I've been playing guitar since the 90s. So back then there was no internet really. Like internet wasn't like that back when I was a kid.
right.
You had So people who are my age or younger, you had to play a record or a CD and just go,
Yeah,
unless you knew someone who played it, or you had like you could buy like music books. So like say Nirvana had Nevermind, right? You
yeah,
could buy official tab book that shows how to play everything exactly the way it should be. But those were expensive, right? So as a kid, you're like $30 in the 90s was a little bit. So
yeah.
like $35 for that. I'll just learn it
Right,
on my own. So if you learn the songs that you love, you'll find these cool little tricks. So you'll be like, oh, so that's like a diminished chord, and that's how it works. It goes into like the next phrase, and then
damn.
you see cool things. But if someone tells you like, well, this is a diminished chord, and they play it, you're like, ew, that sounds like shit.
Right,
But if you see like, oh, that's a diminished chord, okay, and then you play like that whole measure, you're like, oh, that's how it works. And
yeah,
because you song, it connects to you like immediately,
right,
and then it's like hard to forget. And that's how I learn, at least for now, is I learn songs. If there's like a style that I'm trying to learn because I think it will like progress, like learning gospel is like super key. If you want to be like a master like pop, rap, R&B, like learn gospel. Gospel is like the foundation of like almost all music. So,
damn,
but it's hard, dude. Learning gospel on the piano is not a game, man. It is not a game.
damn. Yeah, that
But
makes
that's
sense.
if you learn gospel and like classical, or if you're on the guitar, if you learn like blues, it's like that's the foundation of everything.
Right, right. Damn, that's hard. That's hard. Gems.
Gems.
Sick. Um, what DAW are you using right now?
I'm using FL Studio.
FL 11, 12?
I use FL 11 and 20. I thought I wouldn't dig 20 that much, but I actually really like 20. 20 is
Yeah,
actually,
sick. It's probably dope that you're still. How long have you been using FL now? Since you transitioned from say like Logic?
oh man, couple of years.
Couple of years. You feel like you've got like you know your FL shit.
Yeah.
You know it well.
I mean, even before I got FL, um, I don't know, the way I work is I like to do like a whole bunch of research. So I don't know if you can see, like I got the iMac still there.
Oh shit, yeah.
So before I even got the iMac and Logic, I researched. So I watched like almost every YouTube video on like how a Mac works and how Logic works and people making beats on Logic. By the time I got it, I was like, I got a decent idea. That was the same thing. I was like, before I make the jump, I want to see if. So I'd watch like Nick Mara and like KBZ and like Southside and like TM88. I'd watch them make beats and stuff like that and go, yeah, okay, that's something I want to mess with. I watched like 30 million videos, and then by the time I got it, I was pretty much already good to go. So yeah, there's very little, I guess, I know about FL.
Dude, that's tight. So like did you just apply that same uh just like curiosity when it came to 20? Because I heard that like it's a little bit different.
Yeah, so 20, they try to make it behave a little bit like 11. So the loop feature is like weird because like with FL11 they automatically have this loop feature. So let's say you have like, oh, it's hard to describe, but it's like, let's say you have like 6 bars and there's like 4 ticks in a bar, right? So if you have like 6 or 8 bars, it just keeps looping over and over again, right? So if you just hit like in the middle, right, that's like your clap or your snare. So when you hit play, it just keeps going bump, bump, clap, bump, bump, clap. It's automatic. And then if you want to extend, like if you want to do pianos, but your piano is like 4 bars, that's going to keep looping as you do the 4 bars, right? You don't have to think, you don't have to set anything up, it just does it.
Right.
But with 20, because people complained about not having that type of feature, you have all these, they give you the option to do it all manually. So you have to go, well, okay, well, how long do I want this measure to be? How much do I want the clap to loop? How much do I want this to loop? And it fucks with the flow. Evan, it's like you just go and you're done. That's why people love 11. Like 11 hits, it does hit differently. And it also, the workflow is like, I mean, I can make a beat and mix it in like 20, 30 minutes. Like done, you know? But with 20, sometimes it takes a little longer, but 20 is still dope. Like, I don't know, man. It's just, at that point, it gets kind of like semantics in a way. Like, I mean, some of the stuff doesn't really matter, but yeah, I don't know. It just depends, like, what you're used to. If you don't like to do those few little steps, then yeah, 11's the way to go. But I think you think differently too when you're using like 20 or 11.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that too. Like they feel like when they use like 11, they feel more trappy. And when they use 20, they feel more like pop because it's more polished looking and everything.
Interesting.
But 11 hits, like, there was this, I never used to believe that, but there's a function where you mess with the panning law. So if you turn the panning law off, your drums hit like hard crazy, like too hard. Like, I don't know how people.
What's the panning law?
A panning law is how, okay, so here's center, right? When you pan something, the panning law will tell you how the left and right information like adjusts.
Right.
That's like super hard and long to explain. Like, I'm not even.
I get it because I learned it, the difference between that in Logic. You have the knob, and then there's a panning like plug-in, like
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah.
Stereo image or whatever. Not the stereo one. I forget what it is. But it's what the fuck was it? But it was, instead of it's like turning your speaker. Instead of turning your whole speaker, you're bringing just like a little bit over here. So you have like a little bit more control.
Yeah, so like the difference is like it takes all the information and then bends it.
Right.
Or it like kind of does like true stereo where like one goes to the front and one kind of fades back more.
Right.
So like there's triangular panning and then there's like circular panning. But if you take that off in FL11, your drums like literally punch you in the face. It's like freaking hard as shit. Damn. So I don't even do that because like I tried that and I was like, that's way too much. That's too much fucking.
For real. Your drums slap every time though.
My problem is trying to maintain my drums, which is not a flex. That's actually like a shitty problem to have. Is like, like it sounds so unprofessional when like your drums hit so hard that like everything else feels like it's way back. And it's my room. Like when I'm in front of my speakers, I'm like, it sounds perfect. If I get up and I go like to the corner over there, my drums hit like really hard. I'm like, well, what do I do, man? Like, shit. But like, as you see, like my room's not treated. I have nothing. Right. So, I mean, and like my monitor's like right against a wall, which is like a big no-no. So.
Right. It is what it is. You make it happen regardless.
Yeah. That's like my weakest spot though, is mixing, man.
It was the directional mixer. I looked at it. It was the directional mixer.
Yeah.
That's what I've been using a little bit more, combined with like the the knob and all that.
That works better for you?
Yeah, yeah. It's different. It's different, and I like it. I like it, bro. I've been upping my process like crazy,
Oh, yeah?
like, and my speed and my logic shit. I'm crazy with it now.
Oh, that's sick, man.
It's
Yeah,
probably over like the past 6 months. Sorry.
I was just saying I miss Logic, dude.
Oh, bro, I'm loving it more and more. And forever, I've been like, I don't really produce in Logic. I just produce in Machine. I'll
Mm,
put everything out, all that. Sometimes, very rarely, I'll take something to Logic because I know I can achieve something different or faster.
yeah.
Uh, Now I'm loving it. I'm trying to get into the production in Logic so I can just combine it with Machine and just be that much more dirty with it. Because I think if I do more, I don't know. I don't know. I just want to have both of them running, maybe build a template
Yeah.
or something like that to where they both integrate really well with one another because I'm getting good at both. So if I mesh the
Yeah.
two together,
The thing with that is like one of the hardest transitions with Logic and Free Loops is like Logic is like classic. It's like linear sequencing. So like, let's say after like 5 measures, you're like, oh, I want a chord progression there that goes into like, make it a bridge.
right,
You can just take your cursor, put it right there, hit record, and then you put in the MIDI. It's done.
right,
But like with Free Loops, it's like you have to make a whole new thing,
yeah,
and you got separately from everything, and then you got to arrange everything. With Logic, it's like you can create and arrange as you go. With pattern-based sequencing, like Machine and Free Loops, you don't really do that.
right.
You kind of can, but with Logic, like doing that stuff is like way easier, and I'm really used to that because I've been using Logic probably longer than anything I've ever used. So I'm used to being like copy paste and then be like, okay, here I want the chorus, so I have this whole section. I don't have to like arrange.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get quicker at making beats, so I don't like. It's like if you're like like Formula One racing or like NASCAR, it's like the last thing you want to do is go, wait a minute. The moment you go, you're out of everything you've done, and now you're fucked. And
Back.
I'm being out of flow. So if I make beats quicker, I can get all my ideas down, and then I arrange them like I'm already making that idea. If that makes any sense.
Totally. Totally. That was huge. That makes sense, man. You gotta just keep that flow going. It's it's vital to
Well,
the
yeah,
process.
your brain, the way when you start thinking, you're doing yourself a disservice. I try to tell people this, and I guess I'm bad at explaining it because no one ever really gets it or believes me. But it's like you should never think when you
Is that
create.
why they say the best ones come easiest or the quickest or out of
Yeah,
nowhere kind of thing?
because you let the idea tell you what to do.
You're
It's
channeling.
it sounds super hippie, and it sounds like I'm just like bullshitting to sound like an artist. But no, man, if the way I create, I rarely think. I sit down, I go through sounds, and if I'm like, I kind of feel like drums, I just go drum sounds. And once I go through kicks, I'm like, oh, that I'm using that kick. I'm not thinking about it. I'm using that kick. Go through snares, I go, oh, that's snare. And then I just start playing drums. Once I start kind of like vibing for a little bit, I'm like, okay, that's the vibe. I don't think, I don't question it. I throw it down. And then I go through sounds, go through synth sounds. I'm like, After a while, I go through acoustic sounds. I'm like, oh, strings, cool, okay. I don't question it. I just go. And then if I listen back and I go, oh, this beat's trash, it's trash. Throw it away. But that sound, that first sound tells you I need drums now. I don't go, yeah, but I'm usually like, I do the bass first or I do this second. It's like, nah, it's saying like, if you get that feeling like, oh, drums, like these drums would be sick with this melody, follow that.
Yeah.
It's the same writing. It's like, if you listen to a beat, and you instantly go like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're a trap artist and that's a pop beat. Take that beat. It's telling you, you need to work with me. And it's going to give you these ideas, and it's going to tell you, you're going to see these visions of like walking down the street. Just start writing, walking down the street, and just anything. It's telling you, the muse or whatever is giving you gold. If you listen to it, you'll be rewarded with a great song, and people will think you're a genius, but you're like, no, I just practice listening to the music, and it tells me everything, you know. And that's what I'm trying to get better at, is because like, that's when people say like, because you hear this in our community all the time, you hear like, oh, you shouldn't learn much theory because it gets in the way. You get in a box. That's because you think too much.
Right.
But you learn all these tools and you just let things happen. That's how jazz artists work, right? Like, they smoked mad weed, did mad heroin, and they let their minds just go, and they felt the music. And because that's what art is. It's emotional impact. You don't think about emotional impact. You feel emotional impact. If you're not feeling it, and if you're not allowing that connection with the music and with your feeling, you're going to always create whack shit. And you might have like 10,000 plays on Spotify. That's all you're going to get, man. You're not going to get anything else. If you want to be like, and this might sound silly or contradiction, or like a contradiction, but like, look at like Dua Lipa. Do you think they really sat and thought, how do we make a hit? Or like Max Martin. Max Martin never goes and sits down with a piece of paper and go, how am I going to make another hit? Here's this formula, A plus B equals C. It's like they always feel it out. It's always feel. And if you just allow the music to tell you, like, that's how a lot of like rappers work. Like, that's how you do it. Like, you hear a beat, you don't think, what type of beat, what should I rap on it? You start freestyling.
Right.
And
Right.
freestyle a lot, you go, this is probably something I should work on.
Right.
So yeah, the less you think, the way better music you're gonna make, man. Like my beats went from here to here once I started doing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Damn.
Sorry, I ranted like crazy there.
Oh, more gems, bro. What are you talking about? This is vital information.
Thank you.
Major keys. Yeah, man. I've been cooking up lately. I'm back at it. Just kind of like staying on top of the work.
Yeah, I heard that one beat on Instagram. That sounded crazy.
I liked it, man. It was dope. It was kind of like a happy accident that happened in there too. But I'm just like, I realized, like, bro, if I just keep on it every day, just like bang them out, even if they're like trash, just like,
yeah,
keep going, because something dope will come out.
That's the key. Is it's always a practice. It's like, this is like a crappy comparison, but it's like being a doctor or a lawyer. Like, they don't say like, this is the job. They call it a practice because it's always evolving. You're always learning, and you always got to stay on top of your game, or else, you know, you're going to be terrible. And, you know, no one wants to have a crappy surgeon that kind of does the job or kind of practices here and there. You want someone who's like on top of their game, who's like obsessed with surgery. You want, like, I want that guy.
Right.
That's the same with writing music. It's like we gotta continuously practice and learn and just do it, you know? It's like, it's a muscle. It's like doing yoga. It's like if you skip yoga for like half a year, it's like you're all messed up again. You gotta just continue at it, even if it's a little bit.
Yep. Straight up. Are you still doing the yoga?
Mm-mm.
I am not.
I can't do yoga at all.
Sure. You're not allowed to, eh? It's
I
like,
just can't.
oh shit. It's like, just go to physio, take that one step at a time. How much longer do you got to go through that for?
I have no idea.
They never gave you an estimate or nothing, eh?
Nope. Shoulder are like some of the worst, so.
Wow.
I don't know, man.
Holy fuck. Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, it's terrible that you went through that, man.
Yeah, sometimes I forget, and then I'm reminded that like, oh yeah, an actual truck hit me.
Yeah, real shit. Holy. But blessed to still be here, man. Like, hopefully there's like
Yeah,
a blessing in
I'm alive.
disguise and all this.
I'm good.
Bless, bless. Yeah, man. Um, what do you think? What do you think is like a kind of key to reaching out to some of these artists when it comes to getting the beats out to them and things like that? Maybe it's something that's worked for you that you can share. That
Oh man.
like,
Um,
what do you think? Maybe email or is it Instagram?
um, email's never a no-go, man. Like, e- to me, email is corny. Like, if someone I don't know emailed me and they're like, hey, I got your emails, listen to my beats, I'd be like, who are you? Get away from me. Like, no. It's like a nerd approaching like the cool kids at like high school.
It's about building that relationship first.
Well, the problem is that there's too many people who want to be beat makers or songwriters, and there's too many of them who like don't care how they conduct themselves.
Right.
The best thing to do is make sure your beats are sick. If they're not dope, then there's no point. You want to know how you know your beats are dope? Is people are contacting, right? If you upload your beats on YouTube and no one is saying, yo, where can I buy that? Or yo, can I get that for free? Don't approach people. Keep working. When you start getting a little bit of that, contact people that you actually like. Even if you just heard them and you're like, that's what I do. I go, yo, I liked that song. Like, you sound so dope. Like, I'd love to work with you. Like, can we work? And they're like, yeah, let's work. And then hopefully you can, vibe on their level, which is like another art in itself. But if you're, that's it, is don't just mass anybody and everybody who's a rapper. Like, don't search hashtag rapper and be like, yo, let me send you beats. Let me send you beats. Let me send you beats. They get that all day, every day. A rapper can't swing a dead cat without hitting free beats. Like, it's, you got to be dope and you got to actually like their stuff. And when you like their stuff, you're going to approach them different and they're going to notice. And this shouldn't be like a hack. Like with me, I love music. That's who I am. I'm just a guy who can't help but create and play instruments, listen to records and stuff like that. That's just who I am. And that's what I'm always going to be. If you're just in this for money, no matter what you do, you're never going to do the right thing that gets you to where you're at. Right. You can ask any producer, ask TM88, ask Pierre, ask anybody. Even like KBZ. Like, a lot of people say he's corny and he's weird because he's like this super nerdy white kid who does not fit in really, but he makes sick beats and that's what he likes and he got in, right? He's done huge work. That's what I've never heard a producer go, yeah, well, I was doing this just for money and I managed to get myself in. I've never heard that.
Right.
If it is, then cool, they got lucky. But most of these people, it's a long grind and you just gotta, if you really love this, then you'll be like, oh, I need to work with that artist, and you'll do whatever it takes. Mm-hmm. And you'll just approach them differently. If you're like, oh, that person's hot, but I don't like their music, they're gonna know. It has to be genuine. Yep. And if you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, then don't make music. Just do something else. This ain't for you.
Because that kind of sounds like building a brand too, right? When you build a brand, it's got to be authentic. It's got to be not just like, oh, I'm just doing this for the money. Like, I'm providing value.
Like, yeah, like Virgil didn't take the Louis Vuitton because he's like, oh, that's a bag. He sells $400 t-shirts on his own. He's fine. He took it like, it's fucking Louis Vuitton. There's no way. It's like, I'll kill myself and do both brands if I have to. Like, if I'll die like 20 years earlier, so be it. That's because he loves it. If he was looking at all this stuff like, oh, it's a bag, he'd never be where he's at. It just wouldn't. happen.
Right.
It's because it's how you think. It's the foundation of your philosophy, how you view things. It's like people, you can tell, like, who buys like Yoga Monday t-shirts on Amazon? Who really buys? I mean, okay, a lot of people buy that.
I was like a little confused for a second there. I'm like, how do I answer this?
A lot of people buy that stuff, but no one knows about it. Like, who do you know who wears that shit?
Nobody.
Who champions that brand? No one does. But people love Louis Vuitton, and most people can't afford it. It's because they love doing what they do. You know, they wanted to build a luxury brand, and that was the dream. And till this day, you know, Louis Vuitton and like Bape and Supreme, like they reign supreme. People still mess with them heavy. Like, they might not be as big as they used to be in like the 2000s, but I mean, Bape still see a lot of people wear Bape.
Mm-hmm. Still huge.
People wanting to get like Louis Vuitton and stuff like that. It's the same thing with anything in life. It's like, do you want a surgeon that's in it just for money? Like, that person probably sucks. Probably. Sometimes like there's exceptions to every rule, right? But I want the guy who's like passionate, who's like, it sounds weird, but doing knee surgery is my life. It's like, yeah, I want that guy to do work on my knees. Right. That's the guy. I don't want the guy who's like, oh, well, if you throw in an extra 3,000, we'll get you in. It's like, no, we're good. I'll find someone else. Yeah. I know, yeah, there's exceptions to every rule, but I mean, yeah, people see bullshit. Like, no one's ever said like, man, Old Navy's like, that's why I rock all the time. Like 24/7 Old Navy. Like, no one's repping Old Navy. Right. Facts. But like Bape and like Nigo, it's like, yeah, they rep a bathing ape because it's more than just an exclusive camo print, you know? There's a whole ideology and vibe behind it because it's genuine and someone loved doing what they did. And whether we don't consciously think this way, but we can tell what's bullshit and what's not. And, you know? Yep. I agree. End rant. Nah, that's tight. I've been working on my website lately. Yeah? I've been trying to build like an experience, you know, like an online experience through the website. So I feel like it's gonna be a great place to provide like entertainment and education, where it's direct to consumer. If I ever did want to sell anything, whether it's like a pack or it's merchandise, building it like through Shopify, you can do like, it's pretty dope, man. It's not expensive. It is actually a little expensive, but I'm doing online booking. Yeah. So like anybody who I've built a rapport with that's kind of like comfortable with booking and just wants to just figure it out real fast without like blowing me up or like waiting. It's like, so you can check out the website, whatever's available, you can lock it in. So I'm just trying to hash everything out on that because the way that it works with like the times, I want to make it so that if you book, it's gotta be well in advance to make sure that like I'm actually here. Yeah. If I'm OT, like I can't make it in time. Yeah. So I want to do more of like the automation type stuff. That's so key. That 4-hour work week shit really hit me, bro. I still need, and Tim Ferriss is a genius. Yeah. He is, man. Like what he researched and things like that, like I really believe it. So I think the goal is to it goes back to the flow state, just like mindlessly, like mindfully
But, you know, at the
Yeah.
same time, just don't think about it too much. Just kind of go with it, feel it out, and I want to stay locked in the creative, like always. Less like
Yeah,
let
man.
the business kind of automate itself to where I can still build relationships with clients, and but the goal is to
Mhm.
overall provide value. It's not always
Yeah.
about sitting down one on one like a consultation kind of thing. It could just be like
Hmm.
what we talk about on in these conversations, and we just like share with people, just provide value like that, you know, and give
Yeah.
people insight like that, because it's probably just as valuable. um I think that if I can, if people hit me up, they're like, hey, I want to book studio time. Boom, website, trackoutstudio.ca.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to check out your beats. Boom, trackoutstudio.ca. Merch,
Yeah.
all there. Like easy peasy. I'm I'm here. I'm in it. I'm with
Yeah.
the client, you know, or with the artist. I'm behind this in the DAW all the time, you know,
Yeah.
less in like Gmail and like booking apps and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Kind of the what's the what's the phrasing I'm looking for, the analogy. It's just it's the shitty part. Like I don't like, I mean, I like money, but I don't like the business side of doing that stuff, right? Like I'm so like left brained when it comes to like I hate like networking because like to me I don't know how to word it properly. It feels redundant. It's like I really gotta fucking like sit on the couch, grab my phone, and start hitting up people. It's like I just want to fucking create, man. Like
Right.
I don't want to like drop a contract. I don't want to have to like negotiate price. I don't want to have to go, oh, you, well, not that. I was gonna say something, but that's not. I don't care about that. You know,
But you still want to get what you want out of it, whether it's like you're publishing or whatever.
like all this is a necessary evil, but it just, yeah, man. The more you can automate, like, because you talked about it for a minute, so it's dope to see like, because like yeah, like it seems silly to be like have someone be like, hey, I want some time, and you're like, okay, well, I got this time, and you have to look, and you have to like, you'd be like, here, go to the site, whatever's
I
available.
even have like an automated message that I just like have ready to copy and paste. Be like, hey, thanks for hitting
Yeah,
us up. More information, all of our rates, bing bangity boom, all on the website. If you have
yeah.
any further
You want
questions, hit me up. Sorry?
like, and if you want beats, like all that's there. Like the cool thing
Right.
about that, like you could possibly answer questions without even like having that conversation. They might be like, oh, I wonder. Oh yeah, beats are right there. Cool.
So what I'm also gonna work on is a frequently asked questions page.
Yeah,
And just like, yo, I can send links. Anybody wants to know something, check out the link of the section in the frequently asked questions, and like, boom, value, hella value. I
yeah,
want to give out like some free shit, like a beat pack or whatever through the website, and just kind of, again, offer value. And then I think I'm gonna work on the email marketing kind of thing to where it's I've already built that relationship, right? Like
yeah.
somehow they've found the website through me, whether it was the me advertising a beat pack or the studio, and then it's just like
Mhm.
a link on Instagram to the website, or if it's somebody that already knew me, where it's like, hey, we just started up a website
Yeah.
here. One
Like,
thing,
see, that way is not corny. The when I was saying like, because those are people you've already like networked with, and they're reaching out to you. So that's actually like
you're talking
genius.
the capture email. You can go on a page and rip
Yeah.
everybody's email and shit.
Oh, I know about that. Yeah, but
That's
I
what I do.
feel fucked up doing that, man.
It's weird. I've never done that shit, but it's weird.
I
Like,
have the app, and but I've never tried it.
No,
I use it for seeing
the
if
hack.
people really, like, opened my emails, because like what I'll do is like I'll I'll go on Instagram and I'll just like search for artists that I think are dope. And when I see someone who's dope and I actually want to work with, I go, hey, got a beat pack. You want some beats? And like I curate everything to like that artist. So it's not just a generic like package. Sometimes I do that with like if I'm giving out like a beat pack, but if I'm like contacting people, it's like I specifically will curate something for them.
Right.
What I do is with that app, because they get asked that all the time. The app will let me know if they open it, and then it will also, you can set it up so you can hit them up automatically and be like, hey, I've noticed you've opened the email, or hey, I noticed that you haven't opened it yet. You know, just setting a reminder to see if you still want beats. Like, and I do that like 2 or 3 times, and then I leave them alone. But I don't know, man. Ripping emails from like random people, man.
It's a hack, but it's weird. Like, how did you get my email? But
And it's
it
like,
could be
who
one
are
of
you?
it could be one of those things where it's like, yo, that's the guy I was looking for, or gal I was
Yeah,
looking for.
fire that they just don't care. They're just like,
Yeah.
yo, this is fire. Screw it. Like, let's work.
But you mentioned like again, I think like the hack is also not mass like sending out generic stuff. Like you found
Yeah,
artists that you want to work with. It's not about the money necessarily. It's about finding the artists that you want to work with. So you're more intentional in your process of building relationships and
yeah,
executing, right?
yeah.
So when it comes down to like selling beats or placing beats, do you use beat stars or is it usually just like in the DM in the email?
Most of my sales have been from, you know, just actually talking to people. Um, but sometimes it's a combination of a lot of stuff. But most of my stuff is from Instagrams being like, hey, like I think like it's weird. 50% of the Instagram stuff is like, hey, here's a free beat. It's like just like it's like just a lease thing. Like, you know, you can do whatever you want, but if you make money off of it, I want like a 50-50 cut. And most of the and like half the time they'll be like, I'll buy it. And I'm like, it's free. Like, it's all right. And they're like, nah, man. And I'm like, all right. Like with Fresh, I was making a beat online, like on Instagram Live, and he's like, yo, that beat's sick. I want it. I'm like, all right. And he's like, I'm just messing around. I'm like, no, you can have it for free. Like, don't worry about it. And he's like, really? Okay. And then he comes around. He's like, man, I'll buy it. And I'm like,
Damn.
all right. Well, I'm not gonna say no to money, right? So,
Right, right. Nice.
but that's all like genuine shit. That wasn't like me going, how do I use tactics and like mind fuckery to get people? Like, no, it's like, you know, he's a cool dude, and I'm like, yeah, here, take it. Like, it's weird how like most of the time, or like half the time, I'm like just trying to be nice, and people are like, no, I'll buy it. But
Beauty.
again, all about the vibe and like being genuine. Like that doesn't work with like try using it as an actual tactic. It never works. Why? I don't know. It just never works.
That's funny.
Anyways, yeah, I'm branching again.
You got to be genuine about it.
Yeah, that's key, man.
It's key.
Be open, genuine. If you're great at what you do and you're genuine, it all comes to you. That's just how it works.
Major keys. Do you still play the guitar?
Yep.
Do you do
Very
like,
rarely now.
oh, true. Oh my God. Is that like depressing a little bit? You see your guitars over there and you're like, damn, I just want to rip some shit a little bit. Play my
Yeah,
favorite
I mean, like
song.
car is there. And there's like one over there.
Haha.
There's one over here. I mean, like I can only do so much because like my left shoulder is the one that got dislocated and fractured. So that's the hand I use to like fret and play.
Okay.
So I can watch and I'm like, okay, I can't really like it. I can't play for that long. And then certain moves, like if I have to go quick, I'm like, I can't do that.
For sure. Damn. Ouch. That's tough.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I still have my arms and my fingers. It's just time. I just gotta wait.
Facts. Facts. What do you think is like we haven't talked about COVID at all this conversation, which is like amazing. I love it. But like when it comes to like events and shows and things like that, what do you think you would like? Is there anything that you're looking forward to for entertainment, whether it's like a concert, because concerts might not be the same. Like, who knows, right?
Who knows, man? I try not to think of any of that stuff because no one knows. We don't know. We don't know when, where, why this all happened and where it's going to go. We can guesstimate all we want, but what do we know, right? Like,
I know.
no clue. I'd like things to be the way they were before. You know, I'm looking forward to just being normal again. I'm looking forward to just having, you know, my freedom back. I don't mean like the government's trying to suppress us, man. I don't mean that. It's being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and not fear getting sick or possibly dying. Like, you know, I don't want these restrictions anymore. But, you know, I'm just looking forward to regular.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if that answers your question completely, but
It does. Definitely. Because I don't know. I think entertainment, like, there's people that are doing shows. I know, like, there's clubs in the States that are open. You
yeah,
know, people are doing shows in the club. They're probably having, like, less people.
I don't know. Some of them are like
Some of them
huge.
are huge, eh? I've seen some of the stadiums and shit in
I
the sports arenas.
Yeah, like some basketball stadiums are like they're like almost in full force. You see people in Florida doing shows packed.
Packed, eh? Oh my goodness.
You
So we're
know,
kind of left out of the fun.
yeah. Well, I mean, who knows, dude? Yeah, man. That's a touchy subject, man. There's
I'm just
some
thinking, like, I'm like, yo, as artists and producers or entertainers, like, if you're in Canada, like, you're
you're
gonna
screwed.
have
That's it, man. You're screwed. Like Tory Lane said it the best. He basically said like if you're not that talented, you're done during this time. He's like, you got to know how to pivot. You got to be funny and entertaining. And if you're not really entertaining, it's like you're not making it during this time, and you might not last. There's only like how many? It doesn't seem like there's that many people even dropping songs. Like if I was an artist, I'd be dropping mad songs because that's the only way you're making money right now. You're not doing shows unless you want to go overseas. But I mean, how many people are doing that? You know, streaming songs only gets you so far. So, you know, you got like quarantine radio, like that was genius.
Yep.
Like Tory Lanez, besides the allegation, we talk about him more than most artists. He's in our zeitgeist more than like a lot of artists because he's being entertaining and he's figuring out a way to pivot through all of this. And if you're just going to sit and wait, you know, it's kind of stupid. It's already been 1 year.
Facts.
Or more than that since, you know, you've been sitting on like the bench waiting to play the game. It's like, you can't do that. You got to make your own game. You got to try to do whatever you can. So if you can't do shows, try to do something virtual, try to come up with like merch, keep dropping songs, figure out a way to like make an album that's like crazy experience. Like maybe you do a whole album and you do music videos for like every song. That's like a whole movie that gets presented so people get engaged. You know, it sucks, man. It sucks. Like it's harder for us to like book gigs with like producing artists or recording artists or you know, selling beats or stuff like that, because people, you know, a lot of people are losing jobs. Some people rely on music and they're not touring or doing clubs. So it's like, it's crazy, man. You just gotta find a way to pivot. But I feel bad for a lot of people, man. Like, because a lot of people are really screwed right now, man. It's like totally done. Like, not just artists, but like people who have businesses. You know, we're gonna see when this is done, almost most of the brands and places we love to eat and visit are gonna be gone. You know, there really is gonna be a post and pre-COVID vibe of like how the world is and how it works and what we do and what we wear, what we eat. It's all gonna be different. So yeah, man, it's hard. Music's hard. Like, how do you express yourself during a time like this, right? Like, do you even have the motivation to express yourself and write? Like, do you feel comfortable having people to record? You know, do you feel comfortable approaching someone with the hopes of like selling a beat when they might not have a job? It's a lot of crazy stuff that's going on right now, man. So yeah, whoever listens to this, you know, hopefully you're doing well and hopefully you're keeping your spirits up, because, you know, it's hard times, but, you know, if you stay positive and you just take less emotion and more logic into how you're going to move, you'll probably come out of this proper, I guess.
Words.
And again.
Words from the OG legend. All the waves.
I'm just a dude.
The dude. So, are you? I don't know if we can talk about this, but you sent me that little clip of that merch. Are you working on something?
Yeah, man. Me and my girlfriend are doing a clothing line. It's called Above Action Apparel.
Ooh.
And one of the reasons why it's called Above Action is because instead of like doing fashion, because like we both like fashion and we both obviously like money, but what we're doing is every sale we take a percentage and we save it, and then at the end of the month or at the end of the year, a certain percentage of everything we sell goes to like certain organizations and like funds and stuff like that. So this is not just a clothing line to like look good and feel good and make money, but it's also to like actually help the community. And the more we grow, the more we can kind of expand what we do. And that's why it's called Above Action. We want to like be more than just a clothing company that you can buy something because it looks good. You know, we want to make you feel good, because if you buy something, more than likely it's going to go towards cancer research or women's shelters or helping a business or the LGBT community or anything. So that's the goal. So we're just messing around with designs, concepts, you know, like really basic stuff right now, but there's some stuff that you haven't seen yet. It's fresh. I'll have to send you it. It's so dope, dude.
Damn, that's
I
tight.
think we're really onto something dope.
I love it.
Yeah.
Jeez, been cooking.
Yeah, man. Gotta do something. So
So are you designing it or
me and my girlfriend,
okay.
we're mostly trying to design like logos and like prints for like the actual fabrics. So like that camo design, I'm trying to come up with my own camo pattern and then my own like monogram, which I'll show you. I got a dope monogram print, and I made a mock-up of like a sweater and like a leather duffel bag with the monogram print. Dude, sick.
Damn. Yo, let me know if you want some info on that Shopify store.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm definitely gonna need info
Look
on that.
into it. Looking into it. It's tight. It's tight. You can get themes attached to it too. So like once you get good photos, you just pop them in that theme and you're rolling.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll think on that.
That's tight. That's tight. So you don't even have like a BeatStars account or anything, do you? Do you still you don't have it anymore?
I mean, I have like the free version. I used to
Yeah.
have like a full-fledged account, but I just kind of stopped with that. And then eventually I should get back on that.
I'm just thinking like for catalog wise,
Yeah,
like you might send out beats and some people will use them all, some people will use some of them,
mm,
and but like some beats like there's just there still, if you had like a library where
yeah,
people can just go and check them all out. I'm
yeah.
thinking
I'm just build a new library of like beats that I can like upload because I don't know, man. I think
it
like
puts the brand.
I always think I'm whack and I'm always trying to like elevate. And I love and hate that. So I'm like, I don't feel like I have 50 like solid beats that I could like upload. I mean, I literally have like over 1,000 beats.
Oh, I know, I know.
I have so many, dude. And that's just in the past couple of years. That's not the whole thing I've ever made in my life, but I don't know. I don't, I'm just, that's the process eventually I want to
You
get
have
into.
DistroKid still?
Sorry?
You still have DistroKid?
Yeah.
Okay, dope. I think how was it like transitioning with like the name change? Is it
It
still
was,
gonna be the same?
oh, with that part, I don't know. I think it just goes off of, how can I word it? I don't think DistroKid has like your artist name as a producer. Like if
Oh,
I email, like let's say you buy a beat and I send you my email to be part of that team to get royalties. They're not gonna be like, oh well, what's your producer name, bro? It's like no, they're just like it still connects to that account regardless of like your name change.
that
If
makes
that makes sense.
yep, totally, 100%. Um, so you can actually upload all of your beats to DistroKid.
I was thinking of doing that, but I
So
wanted to do it on all that stuff.
if anybody hits you up, they're like, "Yo, I need beats." They're like, "Yo, you can check out all my beats online. You can write to them. There's no tags.
Yeah,
People already got the app anyways, and
yeah.
just
No,
write.
that's smart actually.
It's easier to write to that than write to like YouTube because it doesn't even play while you're in another app.
Yeah, that's so corny, man. But yeah, no, that's actually really smart.
Everybody's got Spotify or something, right?
Yeah,
And then you're
yeah,
still getting those streams. You're still getting that those streaming dollars.
yep.
And
Yeah, I
then
might use that. Yeah,
yeah, that could be something because it's something that you already have. So it's not like you got to go and pay like another $25 for BeatStars or whatever.
yeah.
It's like this is already
Hmm.
a thing. I was just thinking like that same way that like artists should be dropping like hella songs. I know you got so many beats that you've
Oh
already
man.
that you've already given shown people like they're out there, they're done.
Yeah,
Like you've approved them. Like I think you can compile all those packs and all those like what you've sent different people and get them all out and like that's long-term streaming things income.
yeah, dude. And I mean, you can even like break by like having something on Spotify. Like someone might like be like, I need like a lo-fi hip hop thing for like TikTok or something, or someone might be looking at playlists and they're trying to curate their playlist and they go, oh, who's this? And next thing you know, it's just
Right.
that's smart, man. I gotta look into that.
Still you still own your rights to certain shit. Like or to all your stuff, right? So like you can even say, even if you did a project with an artist, you still might be able to release that beat, do like an instrumental album or something.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing like an instrumental album. Um, it wouldn't be trap because I don't know. I don't think a lot of people listen to like trap beats on their own, but like lo-fi hip hop and stuff like that.
Alchemist, I'll listen to some of those. Harry Fraud beats, I'll listen to by themselves.
But like Dilla's like the only guy I like actively listen to instrumentals.
Ah, true, true, true.
Like not even Timbaland, not even the Neptunes, but Dilla for some reason, man,
Yeah.
such a genius, man. I still think he's underrated. I don't think people really know how amazing Dilla is, man. It's insane. The
Yeah.
way he is so insane. It's insane.
It's different. It's from a different era. Just like when I saw Q-Tip do like the chops like manually on the record or whatever. I think it was
Yeah,
Q-Tip. I'm like, these guys are stupid talented, like on a whole nother level of like, technique and it's like,
yeah. Have you ever seen Questlove explaining how Dilla made this one song? And he's like, there was no room to sample the loop that you hear on the record. So he manually got every little piece throughout the whole song and seamlessly integrated it. So it sounded like a normal loop, like the vocals were lifted, but it wasn't. He just took
wow.
fragments of everything. Like his ear, like, dude, I collect records. So I have this one, I think it's John Coltrane record. I've listened to it a few times, right? It's a great record. I hear this one Dilla beat and I'm like, what's that sample? I want to know what that sample is. And I have that record. I've heard it countless times. And I'm like, that's the fucking record? That's what it, like the song Climax, I could rant all day about this shit. So the song Climax by Slum Village, it originally was a really fast song. And it sounds amazing fast. I love it. And he samples this. It's a synthesizer version of this old classical piano piece, right? And you hear it and you go, I can hear parts of what he sampled, but when you try to recreate it, you're like, I don't know how he made it so seamlessly. Even when it's slowed down so much from the original. You think you would hear little gaps of the audio or like seamless.
Dang.
But he heard that little bit and that little bit. Like it wasn't like, so if people who are listening who don't make music, like beats and stuff like that, with like MPCs and samplers, like you can, here's like your first and the beginning and the end of your phrase, right? And you can have it so that there's chops, like each bar, or you can manually put in markers so when you hit a pad or key, it triggers part of that song. Most people, especially back then, you have to either auto chop or you have to really listen to something and go, okay, I'll put it there and I'll put it there. But most of it's on beat. Dilla's like, no. I'm listening for chords and little phrases, but he hears it all before you sample it because he's so intricate. You can't just randomly go, okay, let's go here, let's go there. Let's place these markers all over the place. Like he hears it, and then it's like the Matrix shows up and he goes, this, in this order. And it's like, if there's one thing I'm confident in is I know how to sample. I can make shit sound stupid. But Dilla is like, I don't get it, man. I kind of do. Like I sampled the same shit he samples and I'm blown away.
Right?
That's why that's when it becomes an actual art. That's when it becomes like really musical. You know, if you take like an Isley Brothers song and just chop every bar or every like hit and go bam bam. It's like that's not talent. That's nothing. That's an easy layup. But when you take some obscure Brazilian flamenco guitar that doesn't sound good, but he hears a few notes, and you're like, how did you even think of that? It's like pure wizardry. Sorry, I could go on and on, man.
Nah, that's ill, bro. Like, that's it. I haven't sampled a song in so long. Like, when was the last time you sampled a record?
If I use anything, like I use loops. I haven't manually chopped something up and like done something in such a long time, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I always feel like sampling will hinder the growth of like an artist because they're like, let's say Junior Dawn, he might be like, oh, it's got a sample in it though. I don't know, man. That's gonna be complications. I don't want to bother.
Right.
But like some of the illest beats are like from samples, man. Even if you play stuff on top of it and take the sample out, there's magic in that shit, man.
If you make a banger, sometimes it's like, we'll figure this out after. Let's just make this banger.
Yeah.
Figure this out. Have that conversation with the producer or whatever and be like, yo, like, we'll figure this out. I don't know about like payment or splits right now, but like,
Yeah.
I know that this is dope. So let's run with this, because if we got to give it away for free, fuck it. We're doing it.
Yeah. A lot of artists don't see that. They don't go, oh, well, like that's a Michael Jackson sample. Oh man, no. Fuck that.
I will give it up.
But if you're like, listen, man, if you think this song is gonna make you famous, this is gonna be a game changer. Fuck it, man. Take the L of not making any money off of it.
It's a small L. It's not even a big L. It's a small.
To me, that's not an L.
Right?
That's the cost. Think of it as a cost to getting your career. Like imagine if someone came to you and go, listen, all you have to do is release this one song. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Just release this one song and you'll have your career exactly the way you want it to. But you just won't make money off that one song. People will be like, yeah, of course. But no one presents it like that. A lot of artists don't see that. They don't go, oh, well, okay, I'll just use this song. Who cares if it has a Michael Jackson sample? Right. Because it's either you make no money now and continue not making any money, or you make no money now, but now you can make all the money you've ever wanted to right after.
Right.
So take that L and release the song, man.
Because even that, work's not done.
Yeah.
Next one.
So if like think of it this way. If you release a song that has a sample in it, just release it. Don't bother clearing it.
Right.
It will only matter if it's big enough. And if it's big enough, they'll come to you and they'll be like, hey, we've noticed. And then you go, okay, now let's talk.
Right.
I just wouldn't worry about ever clearing samples because like more than likely, and it's kind of sounds shitty to say this, it's not gonna be that big where it's gonna fuck your career over or something crazy is gonna happen. Just release the song. If it ever gets to a point where, oh, lawyers are after us, that's actually a great sign because you're fucking lit now. Yep. So yeah, go and talk to lawyers. And if they say, listen, we're taking all the money or we'll like kill your whole family, your whole tree line, we'll burn your house down, be like, okay, cool. Go and do whatever you need to do. Take all the money because now I'm famous and now I have a career. I don't know. To me, it's easy math, but a lot of artists are afraid. It's like, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
The worst that happens is that you get popular.
Yeah, you just can't own this one. You can own the other songs. You just can't own this one.
Man, like Fabulous was always dope at that time. When Breathe came out, he became huge, and no one made no money off that song. except for the masters, the people who own the masters. They made money.
Wow.
Fabulous made money.
Because that's
Just
a blatant rip. Like, that's huge, right? Like,
yeah,
that made the song. It was one, a blatant rip, and two, it was integral for the success of that song.
yeah.
That's why they got to keep 100%. I'm pretty sure.
But to them, they didn't look at it like, oh man, like we fucked up or like we lost money, man. Like our career's over. No, Fabulous's career skyrocketed. Just Blaze has higher stock now, so now people know him more. I mean, people didn't really know Just Blaze until that song, like unless you were really in the scene.
Mm.
And he can charge more now. Like, I don't understand how people can feel like that's a loss. It's like,
Right.
you pay commercials, right? Think of this as paying for a commercial.
Yep.
Except you don't have to pay anything. Like, there's no money that actually you had to take out. Like, I don't, anyways, yeah.
Rant done.
Yeah.
Nah, that was dope, man. I think that's valuable information that producers and artists alike can all take in and use for their own situations. Because one, yeah, there's pros and cons to using samples.
Yeah.
Two, they're just like, it's not even a popular thing much anymore because of all of these certain things that we're intimidated by to an extent, right? Like,
Yeah.
you throw a contract in front of somebody and they run the other way.
Yeah. Because they're like, wait a minute. Because like as a producer or even like an artist, like say like why can't I think of like Dom? Just interview. Imagine if he had a song that we would all love. That would be like, oh, this song is like summer jam. But he tucked it away because it was a sample. Like, not only is he denying us a dope song, but he's also he could blow up. And like, I'm not saying him specifically, but there's people who are like, I'm like right there to being, and I think he's gonna blow up and be like insanely huge. I think he's insanely talented. For him to deny a beat because it has a sample, knowing that this song is gonna be insane and catapult his career, like, to not take the chance, to me is just so idiotic. I think we're too afraid, and we need to stop being so afraid of stuff, because it's understandable if a lot of us are afraid because we don't know, but that's why conversations like this are so important, is because there's really no risk to taking a chance on your art, you know, for the sake of, again, it's the whole thinking. If you think too much about money and like, oh, what is this going to do? It's like, well, then you're never going to fucking get anywhere. You're not going to take chances. You're not going to try to create something kind of avant-garde that could make you blow up or take a risk on something. Like, businesses don't always, business to me is 50% risk and 50% calculation. You can't always calculate everything, because there's unknowns, and there's stuff you just never know. And sometimes you have to just take a risk. If you want to work with someone, but they're sample based, and you're like, I'm going to pay like so much for the beat, and what happens if I don't make money off of it? It's like, you can't think like that. That's such narrow-minded thinking, right? You have to think of the bigger picture and not be afraid. And I'm ranting again, but yeah, I think we need to take more chances. We definitely don't take chances in music right now. We are so pussified as an industry. It's sad.
Yeah.
Like, think of the last person that really made you go, holy shit. I think it was Childish Gambino. His This Is America. That was the last thought-provoking piece of art. We were like, whoa. Name something else.
Last one, you might be right.
we don't have Nirvanas anymore. We don't have Zeppelins or Coltrane's. We don't have people taking chances. We don't have people saying fuck it.
Yeah. Kendrick.
There's reasons why, but that's a whole nother rant I'm gonna go.
Yeah. I remember you were doing like loops before. Are you still making like loops? I know you can't really do the guitar right now, but
Yeah, I was thinking of getting back into loops too, because
melodies,
it's
man.
cool to like network with other producers. I've been very kind of selfish and like introverted with like networking with other producers. It's one of the reasons why I started making beats in the first place. I like making beats with you. I like making beats with Rhythm and like a few other people, but I find it frustrating working with a lot of people.
Okay.
That's my own shit I gotta deal with. But loops is like a cool way to be like, here, let's connect and work. And I don't know. I think like I still have that old school mentality of like, you know, it should all be me, and you know, I need to do everything myself, and
Yep.
you know, why should I have to like work with someone else?
There's nothing wrong with that, man. Like you got the full package when it comes to, bro, you get shit done. Like I don't know if you have a lot of unfinished beats on your computer, but I imagine usually if you
Not really.
do something, you finish it.
You know, I finish. I mean, I used to be the opposite of that. Like on my Mac, there's barely any finished beats. Barely any finished. But it's weird. I'll try to make this short. I learned this, all my Zen music stuff from like how to make it comes from Southside. I don't know if anyone knows who Southside is, but Southside is like, he's like, him and Lex Luger are like the inventors of trap, pretty much the way it is now. You had people before him like DJ Toomp and like like other people I can't remember. But the way trap is now, that's Luger and that's Southside.
Yeah.
All of it. Roast beat, the hi-hats, the 808s type of stuff, everything. And he just goes. And he doesn't think, he just creates. That's how I learned all this stuff indirectly, by watching him make beats, and just like him, Nick Mara, like they don't think, they just go. And you might hear a melody at first and you're like, oh, that's whack. But they're like, keep going, keep going. They don't think of like, oh, I should start over. They just have a little top line. They're like, add a bass line. Next thing you know, you're like, oh man, this is insane. And they go and they go and they go and they go. So when I was like, I want to use Fruity Loops again, I purposely got the demo version so I could train myself to go, because you can't save. You can export your beats, but you can't save on the demo, right? So the way I got way better at making beats was, the way you get better at making anything is obviously flow, but how do you get to flow? Well, you got to learn how to improvise. If you watch Jimi Hendrix Woodstock, when he does his improvising, it's the most insane thing you'll ever see in your whole life. Because this guy's making the most amazing things you've ever heard. And the way he's playing the guitar, like he's using his thumb as a bass note and soloing at the same time. And this wasn't a thought, and he didn't like mull over the idea. That's him freestyling, just going casual walk in the park. So when you see and hear this, you're like, that's insane. That's why he makes great music. It's because he's able to go. So if I wanted to be that great, I have to work. So the way you do that is you set very short time limits, and you just create, and you don't think, and you keep pushing. And you might make your first 10 beats or your 10 songs you write, they might suck. You might look at your book and be like, these lyrics are terrible. But you do it another 10 times, another 20 times, another 20 times, another 20 times. If it takes you an hour to write a song, set a timer for half an hour. And no matter what, you have to write a song. So that's what I did. I opened up Fruity Loops. I couldn't save it, so I had to write everything and export it, or else it's gone. And who wants to wait 3 days to open up the same session and finish a song? That's boring. At least to me, it's boring. So I wrote quick and just kept writing quick, export, it's done, next one. I'd write full songs, I would mix them, and I would just go. I didn't care how good they were. That wasn't important. I didn't care about anything. I made a folder and on my desktop, and it said beats to throw away. So I said in my mind, these were beats that were going to be deleted. They were going to be gone. And that's important because then you can just pour out.
Right.
And then the more I did that, the more I was able to think of ideas quicker. I got better at, because like when we make beats, how often do I sit there and go, oh, what should I write to this? Never. It's super rare. And if it is, it's like not even 5 minutes, because I've trained to do that. And it's not, and you don't do this to put a caveat to this. You don't do this to be a machine. You don't do this to like, if I make 30 million songs, then 20 of them will be great and I'll be famous. No, you do it because you actually just write better music. When you finish doing that and you sit back and you just write the way you usually do, you'll find naturally you're way quicker. You have way better ideas. You finish things, and that's the whole point. You stay in flow, and you actually get more inspired, because you're like, last year I finished barely anything, and they weren't even that great. This year I have like 300 songs I can put on Spotify, and most of them are bangers. Right? That's so, yeah.
Damn. Gems. Yep. Don't overthink it. Just kind of go through it.
That's a practice, right? So, it sucks, and you feel like you're kind of wasting time. Especially for me, it was like, I'd be like, it's been like a month, and I could have probably written something that was amazing. But if you look back on those practice run beats, a lot of those were great, and you bought one of them.
Right. Damn. I love it.
Like that Asian influenced one, that beat was a total accident. That was during the time I was trying to just learn and how to be in flow, and I made that beat in like 10 minutes, if that. Like literally, it took no fucking time.
I love it.
So I was like, just go, do it, go. And you're like, that beat's sick.
Yeah, man. Holy. That's what it
So
means. It's like, don't overthink it, but know it's for a reason. Like, this is all part of the process. You really gotta trust the process, man. Like, it's there for a reason.
Because like, even with like architecture, they might think a lot, right? Because there's obviously certain parts. Same with music. There are certain parts you do have to think. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be times where you get stumped. Like, you might create a bridge for a song, and you go, fuck, how do we do this? So yeah, sometimes you got to think. But even with like people who do technical stuff, like an architect, there's only so much they can think, and they have to like look at their design and go, how do I feel? How is this making me feel? If you're interior decorating a house, yeah, you might think like, okay, or ask questions like, what type of furniture do you want? What type of color scheme? But eventually you have to break away from that and go, all right, I got to feel it out now. And if you can't get in a state of flow, you're always going to be like, I don't know.
Right. Facts.
And yeah.
Golly. Well, I think we'll end it at that, man. Like,
all right.
I think you shared a lot, bro. It's like, I love how this conversation went, man.
Dude, I always love talking to you, man. It's always dope.
It is dope, man. Just because, like, you always bless me with hella wisdom, man. Just like insight.
Likewise, you do too. It's always good to it's nice to get other people's perspective. You should never be shy of like chopping it up with someone and and challenging your ideologies,
Right.
because you might be proven wrong on something that you thought, which wasn't even your thought to begin with. But that's a whole nother thing. But
I seek that though, you know, call
yeah,
me out, correct me, you know, like that's what I'm here for. I'm just trying to get better and do better, bro.
yep.
I always leave these conversations feeling like refreshed, motivated, inspired, and just like
Me,
ready to take shit on. So I appreciate you for everything you do and just like you being
bro.
you, man.
Likewise, man.
For real. I think a lot of people are gonna get a lot of value out of this conversation and the gems and the keys that you shared with people to do.
I hope I said something somewhat intelligent and informative. Hopefully this wasn't just me being weird and ranting
Nah,
about
bro.
useless crap.
I made sure that we went to certain places where you could vent and rant and give value. Like we I think it was spot on, man. Like I appreciate
Oh,
you. Like
thanks, man.
this was an honor, bro. Thank you.
Likewise.
You already
Thanks
know.
for having
No, thank you. You already know. Hit me up anytime. We'll build some more for sure, especially when you get healed back up and
Yeah, man.
uh, back to 100%. Apollo waves on the way. Stay
Yes,
tuned. You already
sir.
know.
I'll wave. New
Where can
beginning.
people out?
Sorry.
Where can people check you out?
Instagram, Apollo Wave Beats. My old Instagram is Apollo Wave Beats _. So either one, I'm eventually gonna pivot to one of them, but I don't know yet. But yeah, that's it, man. Just hit me up on Instagram, Apollo Wave Beats.
Sounds
That's it.
good. Sounds good. What are you saying for the rest of the day?
Just relaxing. It's hot, man.
Is it hot? Oh,
Yeah, I got the air conditioner in the living room, so I'm just gonna chill there, man.
yeah, yeah.
Come up with signs and stuff like that.
Watching any TV series or anything? Anything that's
A
got you?
lot of stuff that my girlfriend wants to watch. So it's like there's this one show called Smash. It's based off of this two people writing a play about Marilyn Monroe and how she died.
Okay.
So the whole show is about the process of them writing. It's only 2 seasons, but it's actually really
That sounds interesting for sure.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm obsessed with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So
I love it. I love it. You can just eat something real quick, crush an episode, back to
yep,
business.
yep,
You don't got to worry about what happened last episode or
yep.
nothing. Just jokes after jokes.
Yeah, man.
That's what I love.
Exactly it.
All right, man.
What about you, man?
What's that?
I said, what about you? What do you got going on?
I'm gonna be in here mixing a track. It's wifey's day off, so we're gonna spend a little time. Maybe
Nice.
enjoy the weather a little bit, get out, get active and try and take it all in. Trying to be present these days, trying to be in the moment and not take my work home with me and all of that, but still maintain my focus and maintain my creativity.
Yep.
Being inspired by being just like outdoors lately.
Yeah, that's the best thing for creativity too, man, is taking breaks
Mm-hmm.
and just experiencing new things, man. Even if it's like during a session, it's like take like a 10-minute break, leave the studio, listen to new sounds, see new things, come back in. You're just like refreshed, energized.
The new
Break.
spot in a good area to like just take a walk around the block. It's like they got foresty areas and all that a little bit, so it's nice.
Nice.
But yeah, man, you're gonna have to come check it out when you get a chance.
Yeah, man.
We'll make it happen.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. I'm gonna let you go. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You
Tell
too, man.
say hey.
Will do. Peace, man.
I love you, bro. Take
Love
care.
you too.
Peace.
Bless.